Hello Zuri, welcome back to my channel. If you're true to this, not new to this, welcome to the party. But it's first time here, welcome you one time, welcome you two times, welcome you three times to the Zuri community. We're so happy to join us on this marvelous day, and a marvelous day indeed. So as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be blowing out my hair, and I decided to film it for you guys. I've been experimenting with using my RevAir, and I feel like I kind of have an understanding of how to use it. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys my honest thoughts, opinions. Yeah, let's get right on into it without any delay. So I just finished washing my hair out, and I had used the Redken Acidic Bonding shampoo and conditioner. I'll have everything linked down below in the description box that I have used and am mentioning. And the only thing I'm about to put in my hair right now is the 𝐥𝐞𝐭'𝐬 Frizz Me Not Hydrating Anti-Frizz Treatment. It's supposed to be a leave-in conditioner, like an anti-frizz properties, and then also a heat protectant. So I'm really intrigued to see how this turns out, since it will be my first time using it as well. I just have my little microfiber towel on. I like to put this on after washing my hair to kind of soak up a little bit of that water without drying my hair out. So I'm going to just apply the leave-in conditioner, anti-frizz, and then section my hair. But wow, my hair just feels so soft, you guys, after rinsing out that conditioner. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna switch over to voiceover 𝐸𝐸 to help me articulate my thoughts, since I am feeling a little tired and I don't want to prolong this video. I've used the RevAir a few times, like I mentioned before, and I found that similar to any blow dryer that I am using, prep does play a huge role in how my hair turns out and how long the process will take. Recently, I found that I prefer to use a liquid heat protectant over a cream, primarily because they're water-based, so I like to work it into my hair while it's still damp, just to help everything absorb a lot better while leaving my hair still soft and hydrated as I work towards the front of my hair. When it comes to prep for blow drying my hair, that does start during the wash day process of starting in 4 sections and then splitting into subsections as I get going, and then applying my deep conditioner, hence why my hair is already in smaller sections. Now with the 𝐥𝐞𝐭'𝐬 Frizz Me Not Hydrating Anti-Frizz Treatment, I do like how it is an anti-frizz, heat protectant, and leave-in conditioner all in one. And I also like how I can see the product as I apply it to my hair, and that's coming from a heavy-handed natural. I do, however, want to try the 𝐸𝐸 heat protectant one day to kind of compare it to this one. I will say overall I did like the 𝐥𝐸𝐭 leave-in conditioner / heat protectant. I just feel like I might have applied a little more than that was necessary. And I say that because after blow drying, my hair felt a little sticky, tacky, I guess you can say. So I think I probably applied a little more than I needed to. Oh yeah, one last thing about the prep process before using the RevAir. I've noticed that if my hair is not thoroughly detangled before, it comes out feeling tangled and not as smooth. So I do like using my Felicia Leatherwood detangling brush, and as someone that's been using this for years and has dense yet fine natural hair, I haven't had any issues with unnecessary breakage when it comes to using this brush. Alright, cool. So once my hair is fully prepped, I'm going to go in with the RevAir. Since I've used the RevAir before, I do start in on like a high tension, but we recommend starting with medium, which is about 4 to 5 if you're just starting out. And no heat is signaled with the O, low heat with 1, and high heat with 2. And for those that want to know how long the whole process took, I am starting at 236, but essentially to get started, I'm just taking a small section, detangling one last time before feeding my hair into the wand and letting the RevAir do the work. Now, I will say, based on your hair's density and other factors, they do recommend to spend about 30 to 90 plus seconds per section. I did try that the first time I used the RevAir, and that did not get my hair dry whatsoever. So then I went up to 1.5 minutes and my hair still wasn't dry thoroughly. So now I do about 3 minutes per section. I know, which is kind of crazy. Well, actually, y'all let me know down in the comments if you think 3 minutes is kind of crazy. Again, different densities and hair lengths does play a role in the amount of time it takes to dry that section. So I don't know, y'all let me know. When my hair is dry, I do like to use a hard bristle brush to get my blowout smooth and tangle free. This step is totally optional depending on how smooth you want your hair to be, but I personally have never gotten my hair to be silk press ready smooth while using the RevAir, but I do like using a brush to smooth my hair a little more while helping to get out any tangles. Now when it comes to the temperature of the RevAir, I wouldn't necessarily say that I noticed a huge difference compared to other blow dryers, but more so that the heat is concentrated because of the wand, which makes it seem cooler, if that makes sense. But yeah, this thing got some heat to it, not even gonna hold you. Sometimes I do have to pull the wand down a little bit to give my scalp a breather because I feel like the heat is really concentrated in that area. Now, I'm pretty sure that I mentioned this earlier, but I did start on a tension of 6 for the first section, but ended up going to 7 to achieve a smoother result. And it's honestly crazy the difference that a small switch made to how smooth my hair ended up being. A few things I want to mention before getting into the pros and cons. When getting your roots smooth, I have noticed that not holding the mouth of the wand against your scalp for long enough or not reaching all of the roots of a given section can lead to your roots not being smooth or drying all the way. So to combat this, you want to make sure that you are reaching the full scalp area by gently moving the mouth over it, or even doing like a dabbing and a circular gentle motion around the scalp will help to focus the wand mouth where you want the heat concentrated, and even just doing smaller sections would help out a lot. So let's get into the pros that I've noticed through this experience. First, the stretch is pretty consistent, especially once I up the tension to 7. Second, I would say that the softness surprised me. My hair feels stretched but not dried out or crispy, and I think that's because the airflow isn't blasting directly onto my strands, which allows my hair to keep that moisture and shine. And the last big pro for me is how gentle it is. It doesn't create a lot of tension, and I'm not tugging or pulling to get my hair smooth. And my ends do feel protected and my scalp wasn't too irritated, so it's just like a more relaxed process, I would say. A few cons that I've noticed is one being that she is a big girl. Okay, the device is bulky, so you do need somewhere to store it, and it's not really kind of tool that I feel like you can just tuck under your bathroom sink. Second being the price point. I'm gonna just leave that right there. Third being, it does have a tiny learning curve, like trying to figure out the right tension, how big your section should be. And then lastly being the noise. It is so loud. I don't care what anyone says. I am so tired. It's currently 4:53. I'm not sure what time I started. I did have to take like a break because it was overheating a little bit. Ignore the indents. Period. This is a side view, a back view, another side view. I'm pretty surprised with how straight it got my hair. I feel like obviously closer to the ends it's a little more poofy, I guess you could say, but I'm not mad at it since I am just gonna braid my hair up. But if you are trying to do a silk press, you might want to either go back over it in like quarters with the RevAir to get it a little more smoother if you want to do a silk press. But I'm just gonna braid my hair up until my next hair appointment. With this being my third time using the RevAir, I have learned a lot since the first time. One, I found that a speed of 7 for 3 minutes works really well with my hair density. For some of the sections towards the front, as you saw, I was starting to get a little impatient and do bigger sections, like specifically this like front section right here, but it actually did pretty well. I feel like maybe because I was using a heat of like 7, that might be why I started to overheat a little bit, as opposed to if I would have used a lower setting for a long period of time. But yeah, other than like having to stop because it was overheating, 3 minutes per section. I do have very dense hair, so the time per section will obviously vary per density and that kind of thing. Length as well. Length plays a huge role. Because I am just braiding my hair up, I'm not like a big stickler of how sleek it is, I guess you could say. But if I was gonna do a silk press, I probably would go back over it with like a padded blow dryer brush. But it's like if I have to do all that, then kind of defeats the purpose. I will say the only downside besides it overheating was just holding the thing. Like, oh my goodness gracious. And I know it's probably like, girl, that's it. Yeah, like literally just like kind of holding it and like swirling it and going up and down is a lot on like the shoulders. Oh baby, it's definitely a little arm workout, but I'm not too mad at it. Again, I can't remember how long it took to do it, so I'll put like the time differences and stuff on the screen. The hair dryer that I normally use is the Dyson, what is it, the Dyson Complete Long Diffuse. I definitely have a video on it, check it out if you want to. I do like using that one because it has different attachments, and so I feel like I'm able to get a more smoother, sleeker blowout as opposed to like this. Again, this is not bad, it's just not as smooth and I guess sleek as I'm used to. But again, it could just be user error and like not doing smaller sections, or I don't know, child. I'm gonna keep using it, but definitely let me know down below if you would try out the RevAir. I know it is a bit pricey, but child, I don't know. As someone that likes to do a lot of heat styling in the winter and fall, I do find that the investment is worth it. But again, it kind of just depends on like how often you blow dry your hair, if you think it'll be worth the investment, and even just like, you know, how low maintenance you want to be when blow drying your hair. Again, your density and your length, all things to take into consideration. But if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me a lot, lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. I am thinking about doing a RevAir versus like my Dyson video. I was gonna do it this time like side by side, but I'm kind of on a time crunch. But let me know down below if that's something you want to see, and I can definitely bring it to the front. Okay, but anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.